evening.
Yes.
This is Saga Live, skill development session number 8. Number 8. This is like the day 8 of the skill development sessions, and this is number 8 for us having skill development sessions.
Yeah, that's how that works. Oh, I have to check my computer.
Why do you have to check your computer, Abra?
To make sure that this is popping up.
What is popping up, Abra?
The video.
The video of what, Abra?
Of this very session.
Of this very session, Abra.
Yes.
Alright, cut the Six Flags theatrics.
Oh my goodness, I think he's right. We're taking it a bit far. Yeah, so if you're here, if you're joining in, we're really grateful to have you. If you haven't jumped in yet, but you're about to see us, we're really grateful to have you. Either way, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to be going through our Saga Action Arts curriculum over the course of a few sections of different pillars of what the curriculum consists of. What we'll be focusing on tonight is building up these basics into intermediates. And if you are with us and you'd like to help us grow this community and you're enjoying what you see, not so far, but maybe from before because we're not really doing anything yet,
if you enjoy listening to us talk,
which no one does, especially Brett, just make sure you share this video, this live video on your timeline, invite your friends, bring people together. We're going to put watch party. We're going to bring some cool content in for you. And if you stick with us in the group, you'll be able to communicate with us through comments and chat, and we'll be able to answer your questions at the end of the session.
Hopefully. I'm
Dylan Hintz. I'm a SAG-AFTRA stunt performer.
I'm Abra Burkett. I'm a person.
She is a person, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And we're going to get started. So if you haven't joined us before, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do our top-down check-in and flow. This is how we warm up the body from top down, just like checking a car, you know, doing a thing where you know what's going through it. It's like a checkup for yourself first thing in the morning or right before a workout.
Start now.
Let's just start. So we're going to start with the head because that's at the top of the body.
Wow.
Whatever you need to do to wake it up, to get it moving, to get those joints lubricated, to shake off the rust, shake off the dust, just get going because it is your body and you're going to know it better than I will. You can either follow along with me in Abra or you can do your own thing, whatever works for you. So we go from the head, and the neck, then we go into the shoulders. I like to shrug and I like to drop it, just shake them out. I like to crunch them forward and pull them back, look really goofy, but get that whole range of motion, big circles if you want. If you want, you can do alternating circles.
Little shimmy.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. You can go the other way if you can. Just open it up. And then I like to send it through the arms, big repulsor blast, Iron Man style circles, really focusing on pressing that palm out. You want to make sure that you're extending through the fingertips and feeling that full stretch, and then make the circle bigger and bigger, going all the way through the back and the chest. Go back the other direction when you're ready.
Don't forget to breathe.
Oh yeah, make sure you breathe. Get that breath in that body. Oh yeah. Brett's giving me some looks.
No, I'm looking at the screen.
Cranes, beaks if you want. I like to do that to stretch out the forearm. I like to pull that nice and tight. And then make small circles and really start warming it up. Plus that gets the wrist kind of going. If you need to do something with the wrist, that's all you do.
Especially since we will be using sticks.
Sticks and kicks and, well,
Not
we're not doing sticks and kicks.
One of these days.
One of these days we should do sticks and kicks.
Hello, Wendy and Logan.
Oh, hello, Wendy. And hello, Logan.
Wendy and Logan.
Guten Nachten. Or whatever.
Why are you doing this?
Because Brett and I have been studying German in our free time so that we can watch German cinema.
You can watch it with
Through the chest now. Come on, Abra. We got to keep up with this.
Are you not using subtitles?
I'm not using... Is somebody going to subtitle this episode?
I meant for the German cinema.
Oh, for the German cinema. Well, the goal is to be able to watch all of Inglourious Bastards without subtitles.
I mean, at this point, you probably know all the dialogue anyway.
Granted, that would be way harder than just knowing the German because there's also like 3 other languages in that movie.
Yeah.
French, Italian, and a little bit of English.
Yeah, and so we're going to go through the hips. You've already noticed it. We already noticed it. See, as we've programmed this top-down check-in, you're just going to be able to become more aware of your body step by step, just building out that mental map of all the joints, all the muscles, stretching them all out. You know, whether you need to raise your leg and kick a little bit. I really like that. We can do stretch kicks from Kung Fu.
Yes, we can.
on this squishy mat. I keep falling backwards and forwards. I'm going to jump off the squishy mat. Abra, you just keep going. We walk like robots. Speaking of Germans, with that amazing footwork. That's awful. All right.
What? Wow.
Knee bends.
Wow.
Knee bends.
Please disregard
You just
that
got
last. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it. Disregard that last statement.
Knee
please.
bends. However you want to get down there. If you want to lower to one, come on up. Lower to the other, come on up. This is where we start integrating a little bit of flow work. And all I mean by flow work is just finding where your body's going to go and being able to move it clean and feeling out those mechanics with each piece.
You can go at different angles here.
I dig that. Different angles. Different angles. Now for some people, of course, these lunges might end up being a workout. But for us, it's got to at least be a warm up. And now I'm going to go into my calf raises, bounce up and drop down. And then I'm going to go from one to the other and alternate kind of marching calf raises. You got a bit of hair on your leg or something. And now I'm going to bounce down, push up. Bounce down, push up. So just spring off the floor. And then I'm going to use that and I'm going to come from up to down. Up to down. So we're doing our nice little Batman, Spider-Man, Sam Fisher sort of stealthy drop. If you drop to the balls of your feet and lower to your heels.
If you did jump squats with me yesterday, I am sorry.
Whoo-wee. All right. We're a little bit warmed up. Let's just get some little torso twisting going, just to make sure that that spine's ready to go. You can isolate at the waist, or you can start throwing in that full hip twist, or is what I really like to see Abra do when she does hers. She shoots out her arms like she, stop in the name of love.
Or stop hammer time.
Stop hammer time. More Six Flags humor, everybody.
And not just. I mean, everybody makes that joke.
All right, so that's it for right now, our top-down check-in. If you want to do a little bit more flow work, all you gotta do is do some crawls on the ground, maybe some rolls. Let's just go through it. After you.
Okay.
So you do a roll, I do a roll. You do something else, back roll, I do a back roll. Again, we're just moving in all directions. What we're really focusing on is just expressing our body in as many ways, in as many planes and directions as possible. So we just start feeling things out. Silly moves like that, like I'm just crossing my feet and walking around. Abra's doing some scooting stuff. I could shrimp.
You could shrimp.
Any move that you know that just gets your body warmed up and moving, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, I like that, the kick-throughs.
Traveling kick-throughs.
I'm going to do my seated transitions all the way across the floor. If you don't have a mat at home, just do what's safe and protects your knees and everything.
That.
All right.
We have Craig and Brian with us now.
Well, hello, Craig and Brian. I don't know which one's which, but hey, it's good to have them.
Craig and Brian.
Craig and Brian, Brian and Craig. All right. We're done with our top-down check-in and flow. Now we're going to go right into our first section of curriculum, action flow, with today's focus on rec flow. So all this means is that we're using full body motion to create action-packed movement, whether that's some sort of dynamic floor acrobatics or some stunt-style wrecking. Today, what we're going to focus on is we're going to do front falls. You're just going to demo it. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
What? Oh.
And we're going to build up to that. Now, granted, we're starting with a nice little mat right here, provided, of course, by Dr. Brian Stoops.
Dr. Brian Stoops.
Thank you for letting us borrow that. You can check out his classes Monday and Wednesday nights at
5
5. Unless you're a child, then you can start them at 4 with his Kid Persist program.
Granted, I'm sure even if you weren't a child, you could do them as well.
You could probably do them as well. Just, you know, you do you. Anyways, we're going to build up and break down this forward break fall. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Abra slammed all the way down into the mat, full body, all at once. If you're not ready for that, or if you don't have the mat at home, the best thing you can do is start building that body control, that contact feeling, and the ability to kind of like throw that tension into your body all at once to protect itself from that crash landing. So one of the first things that you can do is you can just start down on your knees. Put your hands in front of your body like a little shield. Notice this 90-degree angle. And I'm actually bringing my fingertips towards each other like a triangle. This triangle is going to protect me. And essentially, all I'm going to do is I'm going to rock forward, holding my core tight, and land with my face facing this way in a plank from elbow position.
Right now, still on your knees though.
Still on my knees. I'm not getting any further up off the ground. So Abra, if you'd like to do that, just to show them that. She creates the shield, she lands, and she turns out. Also make sure that you're practicing to start breathing out with your breath control. Yes. So as I'm falling, I'm going to exaggerate it for everybody so that they can see it. I'm going to breathe in, and then as I fall, I'm going to breathe out. So that as I hit the ground, my lungs are empty. You want to really start with that because as you work on falling from greater heights, if your lungs are full of air and they get hit, they're going to just pop all that air out, and that's literally what it means to blow the air out of your lungs, and that's going to hurt.
Yes.
So, why don't you do 3 from the knees? I'll do 3 from the knees. If you're at home, you do 3 from the knees.
Or you'll do 6 from the knees.
Well, you'll end up doing 6 because she'll do 3, I'll do 3. We're just going one, you know, one alternate. Go! 1. Tighten that butt. I don't know. 2. I'm still practicing my German. Go, 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 go. 3. Excellent. All right, now it's my turn to do 3. So what you'll notice is that I'm going to hold my lower body really tight, and I'm going to fall. See how I keep my legs locked? That's one way to practice holding that tension. 2. And 3. All right, so you just did 6 of these. Hopefully you're breathing out and circulating that energy just a little bit. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to do this from a low squat, Abra.
Would you like me to fall or jump?
I would like you to do whatever is in your heart.
Cool. So from here,
the goofiest Disney answer ever.
I'm going to jump out.
Fall with your heart, Abra.
And this time I'm going to land in a full plank from elbow with my legs up above the ground, my knees up above the ground.
So hold that. So you see what she's talking about. Her knees are up above the ground because she's essentially gone into a full plank from elbow. It's kind of like doing our sprawl, but rather than going backwards, she's just opening out. She's put energy into the backs of her legs so that if she weakens her leg, her knees might hit the ground. She's doing this by activating her legs and really reinforcing through the hamstrings and the backs of the calves, holding the glutes tight. This entire system is going to protect you. This comes from martial arts, but can be used for stunt training. So if Abra was to do that one more time, we'll talk about that. Hold that position at the end. She drops out, and then if she wants to sell out, she just lets it all go. And then as we work that up one more time, what she's going to do is she's going to drop, hit that position, and then sell out almost instantaneously. So hit, drop, sell. So you have that little moment where you get to kind of control it, but then sell it out. And as you get better and better at this feeling of control, you're going to be able to minimize that time and sell out even more gloriously, I guess would be the best word for it.
Faster, maybe? More...
Gloriously!
Okay.
With glory. All right, so what did you want to say? You had a point.
I did have a point. If you have been doing the morning routines, you will recognize this plank from elbow position. And if you've been keeping up, you might have more of that structure already built in. So just we're relying on that structure. It's building on top of that.
This was definitely a reason why I put planks into my personal morning routine. I wanted to have full body connectivity and structural stability throughout, being able to hold all that tension while also not making myself feel tense. That's really important. Best stunt performers I've noticed can hit the ground looking completely relaxed, but will make themselves look messy as all heck without actually injuring themselves. Because once you get on set, you just got to eat dirt and you got to make it look gnarly so that they don't have to do 20 different takes. Try and impress the stunt coordinator and the director on the first try. You'll still probably have to do 1 or 2 for safety, but hey, you got most of it done. So now we're just going to talk about how we can break this down even further as you build up to that full technique. I'm going to start from low, just like Abra was talking about. One thing I want you to keep in mind is that I'm not jumping forward in this case. I could, but that's not really going to be the goal for us to be able to hit flat down everything all at once. We want to hit the feet, the balls of the feet, and the forearms at the same time. So instead of jumping forward, and this is a great, great conditioning exercise, I'm going to throw my feet back and land exactly over where my hips were to begin with. So you do that 5 times, I'll do that 5 times. This is pretty much exactly what Abra just demonstrated. I just wanted to break it down one bit further. So ready, and 1. Very nice. 2. Awesome. 3. Come on, get up and go faster. Boot camp, boot camp. 4. And one more. Notice how she's still turning her head out. And 5. And she's giving that little bit of a yell and a sellout. Sometimes that acting component is actually going to save you.
Yes.
You can call them out for me.
Go. 1.
Go. You have to. Come on. 1.
2. 3. Up. 4. Hurry. 5.
All right. I didn't sell out at the end. You're way cooler than me.
Yes, I am.
But you've been doing this a lot more consistently than I was. Abra was doing a bunch of falls and everything at Six Flags America, what, like 3 or 4 shows a day?
Yes.
Yeah, wow. And that was for like 8 or 9 months?
10.
10 months, shows 3 to 4 times a day. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of reps.
Yeah, but my castmates also did it too.
So now let's talk about how you can take that move and apply it to your physical acting. It's very simple. You are in control, unless otherwise stated, but the person that's going to provoke the move is going to provide a couple of different things to send you into that front breakfall. One of those things could be something as simple as a trip. If Abra's just running towards me and I just step out to the side and leave my foot there, boom, she just sells that. It's all her. So go to the other side and do it the other way. And if you want to, when she falls, you can either watch her and then do a rep, or you can do a rep and try and time it with her, however you want back at home. So I'm just going to put this foot out. Abra's going to run and trip. Boom! Good. Now, I'm going to now add a little bit of pepper to that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sweep into her foot, make a little bit of contact, and let her sell that move. So Abra runs at me, I make a little bit of contact, and now it's all just about her doing it. So now she's going to throw her feet just a little bit harder out of me making that contact. So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And that's just a good way to get started. Absolutely, absolutely practice with a mat. Eventually, if you want to get into stunts or you want to be really good at this stuff, you're going to want to throw on elbows and knee pads and hit actual ground, whether that's dirt, grass, or concrete.
Mulch.
Lastly, we can have a little bit of extra fun. I would demo this a little bit harder. Oh, right, we do need to go through the next little step. Out of the trip, one of the ways that you can build this up is that if you're at full standing, I guess I'll do this one myself.
Okay.
Abra, why don't you come back behind me? This is just called like the leaning tower. It's not really called that, I just called it that right now. Abra's just going to press my back, and I'm going to fall forward. And what you'll notice is that I'm snapping my body together at the very last second to hold all that energy. So if you're good with doing that, do that on your own. I'll show that real quick. Even without being pushed, I fall, and I breathe out, and I land. Do that 5 times. We're going to cycle.
Now, just as a note, a lot of people have a hard time with that one because of that fear of falling forward and not jumping or catching yourself in any way. Trust yourself. If you have a mat, trust the mat.
And really make sure to fall on your forearms and not your palms. That's going to suck. So real quick, 5 reps of this, and then we're moving on. Ready?
What?
1. You come around behind me. Wow! 2. All right. That was 3. Get up! 4. 5. One last thing, just for fun, just so you can see it. Abra's going to stand right here. We're just going to pretend like we're doing a little bit of a superhero pro wrestling move. I'm going to pick her up. This is all on her. And again, we're practicing this in our little basement studio.
Yeah.
If we had more time to rehearse it, it might be a little bit cleaner, but what you can see is that she's in complete control and she's protecting herself at all times while also being able to act and sell it out. And that does require a little bit of physical conditioning, because if you are not conditioned to be strong enough to make these impacts, you should not be doing them. They will hurt you in the long run, especially if you're on set and you're doing rep after rep after rep after rep until somebody says, moving on. Which, by the way, that's telling us
To move on.
we need to move on. So I'm going to move the mat. You're going to grab your gloves. And we're going to go into our striking arts. That should stay there.
Maybe.
Now, as we've been going through the Mint version of the Saga 9 template for the last few sessions, we're going to move on into just doing the defense. I'll do the defense, Abra will do the defense, and then I'll do the defense again. Your job at home is to either do the offense or the defense. You can choose whichever side you want to practice.
I would recommend, since we're going to be cycling through it a few times, to alternate.
Get familiar
With both sides.
with the blocks, with the bobs, with the dodges, with the defenses, and you should be good with the strikes by now. And if you're not, that's okay. Send us a video and we'll help you out. All right, Abra, you're up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
My bad.
6. Back up, back up, back up, because 7's long. 7, 8, and 9. All right? You call them out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Come on a little bit closer.
8, 9.
All right, and one more time for you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh gosh, the wall's tight. 6. Oh, do 6 again. 6 again. I got distracted by that wall.
I know.
7 and 8 and 9. All right, good job. So now that you've gone through this, we literally just did between the two of us 60 moves. One of the cool things about the Saga 9 template, you have 7 combinations that are 2 moves apiece. You have 2 combinations that are 3 moves apiece. If you learn, not the Saga 9 template, the S-Series combo.
Everything is 9. It's confusing.
If you learn the S-Series combo, you are learning 20 moves. You are learning a 20-beat fight where the beats can change from full beats to half beats to quarter beats depending on the combo. And it goes even further, but for now, we're just letting you know you're learning a 20-beat fight. But then, once you get into exchanges, which we're going over tonight, you will be able to learn how to do 40 moves in a row with a partner, both being on offense and defense. Changing range, changing timing, and working off your partner, firing to true target, and protecting yourself with your hands, your head movement, and your footwork. Let's start breaking this down. We're going to do exchanges 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Abra's going to throw number 1 at me. I block it, I block it. Right off of her kick, I'm going to throw my own jab and my own rear kick. So she throws number 1, I catch, I block, I throw number 1, she blocks, she blocks. She catches, she blocks.
Yes.
So let's just do this again, slowly and with good time, kind of like a Tai Chi speed. Ready? 1, punch, block, 1, punch, kick. 1, catch, block, 1, catch, block. And now at speed, 1. And hold on. I'm just going to say 1. The exchange is agreed upon. 1. All of a sudden, you're building up your bigger combo chains. And all we're doing is mirroring each other.
And you're building up your reactions and your counters. The idea of this is to have that counter timing.
Yeah, notice this part really specifically as we go into this. When she throws hers, bop, bop, I'm coming, throw that kick and hold it for a second. I'm coming right off of that. As it slowly returns, I'm coming right into my jab. So not only does she have to throw the kick, but she has to be ready to do that block.
Yeah.
You all right?
No, I was saying, that's coming.
Oh my, as George Takei would say. So here's my big point. You're not losing beats. You're training how to connect multiple pieces of combo work. Whether this ends up being filler combo work, filler beats, either way, it allows you to build up more time in actual combat. So when she does one, we never stop, we never drop the fight. One of my favorite things about this is that it actually trains you to actively keep up your guard. Because if Abra throws one, and then her hands are down, she's going to get hit in the face. So when she throws one, she's ready to go. Now let's just take all of those principles, wrap them with a bow, and put them through numbers 2 through 4. Number 2 is cross, lead kick. I throw my cross, my lead kick. She throws her cross, I parry it. She throws her lead kick, I block. I throw my cross, I throw my lead kick, she parries and she blocks. So one more time, cross, lead kick, cross, lead kick. Notice how she's circling around. This is one of the really cool things, right? She throws that cross, I'm moving to the outside, she's chasing me down, boom. I'm throwing my cross, she's moving to the outside, she's moving to the outside again. Now we've almost completely switched positions because the footwork leads us to do that.
We don't have the time to reset.
We don't have the time, and also one of the things that we're doing as a big principle is when I throw that cross, she's keeping that range. Notice how my fist is still within range of her face, which also means that my lead kick needs to be within range of her tummy. She's never breaking that range because we want to create those extensions because those are going to be the beautiful shapes that work. And that's also why the first version of the S series is really kind of from a Savate background. My full extension, and that's how Savate works. Everything is at full extension. All right, so number 2. All right, we're going to do that a few more times. 2. Notice how we're moving across the room. 2. A little crunchy, a little crunchy.
A little bit.
2. All right, and one more. 2. And so that's the fun thing, right, is that if she throws that 2, and I back up for that 4, I've got to push in to get that cross, and I've got to turn to get that front leg kick. Because I can't just, she throws that 2, I can't just go like this, and then she moves all the way over there, and go like this. It's not going to work. So I'm training how to be a better fighter, both for realistic application and choreography, because I'm tracking my partner. And I'm not tracking them because I know where they're going to go. There's not enough time in the S series to really know that, like, immediately. You have to follow their flow, and that's where the real benefit comes through. It's very applicable martially. I'm serious. I really didn't expect it to happen, but once I started training it, I got a lot better at recognizing my range and distance between my punches and my kicks. So into number 3 now. Number 3 is rear kick to your jab. So I throw my rear kick, I throw my jab. That foot needs to come back before you fire that fist.
Yes.
So 3, rear kick, jab, rear kick, jab. 3, rear kick, jab, rear kick, jab. 3, rear kick, jab, rear kick, jab. All right, a couple more. You're going to be on this side just so that they can see it from the top over there. 3, rear kick, jab, rear kick, jab. One more. It creates different movement. Finally, we're going to go through number 4. None of this should be a surprise at this point, but we want you all to feel it. If you are not with a partner at home,
You can shadow it.
You can shadow it. So if Abra is throwing 4, she can throw 4. I'm blocking, and I'm blocking. And then what she'll be doing is she'll be blocking and blocking. So if she was to do 4 exchange and shadow box, she'd be doing the attacks and then the defenses. And there you go. So let's just do 4 a couple of times so they can see what it looks like. Take a step over there. Ready, 4. 4. 4. And 4. Creates a lot of movement, but we're kind of keeping the same range throughout. So again, if you're working this at home, You face this way, I'll face that way. If you're doing 1, jab.
Oh, am I jabbing?
Actually, I kind of like what you're doing. Jab, rear kick. 2, or no, now you do 1. So she does 1, I catch, and I block that rear kick. I do 2, no, I'm sorry. I do 2 cross, lead kick. She does cross, lead kick. I do 3, rear kick, jab. She does 3, rear kick, jab. I do 4, lead kick, cross. She does 4, lead kick, cross. You can literally shadow this on your own and you will be building abilities because now you're going to really be visualizing what's coming at you.
It's the key word, visualize.
You gotta visualize. If you can't visualize doing a fight scene without a partner, it's going to be a lot harder to do one with one because you're not going to be able to keep track about the story that you're trying to tell. Visualization is huge for fight performance. It's also very huge for actual fighting.
Yes.
You need to know what you're going to at least try to do that other person. There might be a fog of war, but there's got to be a sense that I'm going to hit them. Not, I just hope something works. It doesn't. It can a little bit, but you still have to have an end result in mind.
And again, for fighting, for all of this stuff, having solo work, doing solo work, and using that visualization is helpful in the long run, even if you are able to partner with somebody.
So go ahead, take those moves, take those attacks and those defenses, work them either shadowing. We have a great video of Becca Musser doing it on our Instagram. She's doing her own combo work with the Saga S-Series combinations. And she looks like she's just in it. She looks like she's in a fight and she's all by herself just with the camera. Play with that. Look at yourself. See if you look like a real fighter. I promise you these combos will help you look like that because they're going to get your whole body moving. They're going to require you to play with your footwork. And you're going to be keeping your guard up, which is really important.
Yes. Do you want to show real quick, just 1 through 4, back and forth?
Sure. We'll do one quick exchange. Ready? 1, 2, up 2, 3, 4. You surprised me with that one. I wasn't ready for that.
Sorry.
And Brett was shaking his head. I felt pressured.
I'm sorry.
She pressured
Do
me.
you want to do it again?
No, we're not doing it again, but maybe we'll put a video out there for you to see in the future. If you go on our Instagram, there's a lot of great content of the S-Series with me and a bunch of clients at Ludlow Fitness, so go ahead and check that out. But for now, we gotta move into stick fighting. Wait, how did... Surprised me like that, Wait, you know, I'm so comfortable, and then all of a sudden it's just like, ooh, that was a surprise.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I know. Consensual fight training. All right. These are shorter, therefore they go to you. Well, that's how it works.
I know
it's
how it
proportional.
works.
All right, we're going to go back into double sticks. So if you have 2 sticks, great. If you don't have 2 sticks, grab 2 of something that's of similar length and play along. If you don't have anything at home at all, even like a frickin' wooden spoon or something, I don't know. Find something if you can. If not, just use your bare hands or hold pens or markers or whatever. You can make this work. We're going to go back into the Saga 9 template with double sticks. So Abra's going to face this way. I'm going to face this way. Hopefully we're not going to crash into each other or destroy the computer. Again, from angle 1, crossing the hands down. Raising up. For angle 2, crossing the hands down to open. For angle 3, you flip them back. Cross as you raise up. Lower them down. For angle 4, cross open as you raise up. Let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4 really quick. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold on from 4. To get number 5, you're going to lower to your hips, flip the sticks over, and cut across your own belly. And then whip them back behind you. That's the close cut for angle 5. Angle 6, you're just going to open back up in the opposite direction. 6. So one's a forehand, one's a backhand. If you were to do 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. It's just scissors close, scissors open, scissors close, scissors open. All the double stick sequence up through 5 and 6 is pretty much that over and over and over again. If we're at 1, scissors open to close, 2, scissors close to open, 3, scissors open to close, 4, scissors close to open, 5, scissors open to close. 6, scissors close to open. And when we go into 7, step forward and thrust both sticks in the same direction. Now, when I say the same direction, I don't mean point them together like a delta. We could skewer the person for sure, but that's not what we're aiming for right now. We want to keep these railroad tracks in line. So if Abra was to face towards me, and she was to thrust her 7s, they could either go right into my tummy or they could go around my body. Either way, they're coming at me, and I need to move, whether that's out of distance or move off to the side. I'll have my options to come in later. Now, we're just going to cover the defenses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've kind of already covered 1 through 4, but let's do a quick refresher. If Abra's attacking me with angle 1, I can either block with an angle 1, or if she goes back into angle 1, I could block with an angle 2. The point is that I'm intersecting the sticks on the same line. Either that's crossing them or flowing with them. I'm either passing them, meeting them as a follow, or I'm crashing into them, meeting them as an opposition.
Meeting of force versus passing.
Exactly, just like Dr. Brian Stoops would call it. So, angle 1, this time we're just going to follow. Angle 2, I'm going the same way. Angle 3, angle 4. Now, one more time, flow with us, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Imagine you're working with a partner if you don't have one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So from here, Abra's going to go into her angle 5. I'm going to block angle 5. I could literally just leave the sticks right here if I wanted to, and she could cut. I've got my block. However, that's not very dynamic.
Boring.
And it also doesn't add any oppositional force. So what we've determined would work really well and would look really, really, really stylistic, and I'm not saying it's going to be the best bet in martial arts land, but it's going to look a lot cooler. I just finished my 4, she just finished her 4. She's going to start prepping her 5 as it comes in. I'm going to cross my arms in front of each other, thus punching both of her sticks at the same time. So she goes to 4, I go to 4, she cuts, and I punch through. So all I'm doing is I'm crossing my hands in front of each other. If you need to keep one low and thread one over the top, great. If you need to somehow do it one side over the other, it doesn't really matter which one's on top, because this is very just simultaneous and stacked. What I am going to recommend is that you don't, when she cuts it, punch too low. See, you tracked me. That was very nice of you. But really, if she didn't track me and she just went for my hip target, she'd be hitting me in the elbows and the hips. No good for me.
I was just paying attention to your hands and I wanted to hit them.
So what I want to cover with this 5 is that when we're both at that 4 and she comes in, I want to have my sticks still kind of high, crossed against each other like that. And then if I was to do another technique, boom, I could just roll right back up.
And I'm closed.
I could basically just roll back up into my angle 2 on both sides, or I could roll under into my angle 4, or I could just go right into my angle 6 strike. So by having this crossed, I'm closed, and now I'm ready to open into whatever else I'm going to throw. But this is an ideal way to at least send a little bit of oppositional energy. I did actually used to teach it when she would do that 5 cut, just holding it there. If you need to do that, totally works. We both do 4, and I need to just protect myself. I'm just moving out of the way. I can just hang them down like that. It's not a problem. This just gives you a little bit more oomph and allows you to kind of bring your body into that crunch shape, which is going to look a little bit more defensive. Now, in order to get into the block for 6, Abra attacks with the 5. I'm blocked here. My hands are already turned over like this. And if you remember the single stick block for 6, it's that one abanico that protects you against that backhand. So now that both my hands are flipped over, all I have to do is flip them back over as she comes in, boom, and I'm protecting myself with this nice simultaneous double wall block. So she goes from 4. Let's hit that 4. She goes for her 5. I close. She goes for that 6. I open. Really simple. When she closes, I close. When she opens, I open. One more time. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. So if you're following me, ready? Up, stand over there so they can see what I'm doing. 4, 5, 6. Super simple. If you end up putting a little bit of footwork into it, take a step back. We're just going to go back on a little bit of a drive. 4, 4, 5, 6. And I'm always keeping these up, protecting me. It's a tricky combination, but if you can get it, you're going to be able to move very dynamically while protecting yourself. Last move, number 7. As we just discussed, that 7 is a thrust to my body. She's aiming on line, and I'm probably in distance to start. So, of course, like I was saying, I can move back. If she just keeps walking forward, it's going to hit me regardless. So I still need to do something to take her weapons off the line. When she throws her 7 with a single hand, I tend to move it off the line. I could do against both sticks. I could do with a single stick. But we're trying to match double stick with double stick, so it's just a stylistic approach. What can we do? Well, she just did her number 6, and I blocked high. So now both the stick tips are facing up. She preps for her 7, she pulls it back. As she goes, boom, I just flip both out. And what you're going to see is that I'm, just hold it right there. Boom, I'm hitting the insides of her sticks and moving them off my line. This is going to create some really great openings choreographically. She cuts for that 6. I've got my high block. She thrusts for that 7. I move her off the line. If you see it from this angle just a little bit, cut for your 6. Go for your 7. I've done this really cool kind of like get off of me, sort of cast away sort of move. And if I really want to, her chest is presented. Boom, I can go for my Sparta kick right there. And we'll just end it with that if you want to do the defenses at home. Here's what you're going to be doing. Abra's facing me. Over there, I'm just going to do the defenses as you do the offenses. Okay. So 1, same move. 2, same move. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let me do that 2 more times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, if you're going to use this for choreography, you do need to practice it with your partner at least a little bit to make sure that you guys are gauging both your time and your distance. But once you have it, you can create these really cool double stick strikes. Now this template is double stick simultaneous striking. We can do alternating strikes, but for right now, we're taking what's really unique about the double stick, 2 weapons attacking at once, and using that as the first paradigm for this weapon. I could teach, just do Sinawali real quick. I could teach the same thing. Everybody in every stage combat class ever learns about double stick the first time. And that's great. But 1, that's really complicated. And 2, that's one thing. That's one thing. And unless you get standard, into heaven.
Into heaven.
Into heaven. Into standard.
Yeah.
See, again, we haven't done this in a while. The point is that unless you start mixing those up, it just ends up being a flow drill that goes on and on. What Abra can do, though, when she's attacking me with 5, 6, 7, stand back there, is that she can do that sort of same drive thing. 5, 6, 7. And we get those bigger wushu style moves. So even though this is technically Filipino martial arts, we want to use these simultaneous strikes to change up the rhythm. So we could be doing Sinawali, and then I'm going to say go, and you're going to do 5, 6, 7. Go. It's just a way to take the double sticks and create different beats. And we'll talk about that a little bit further down the line when we do the 2, 4, 6 drill?
Yeah. 2, 4, 6 drill.
2, 4, 6 drill. But that's going to come later. Unless you're looking at our YouTube page, you might be able to find it ahead of time. All right, so that's our double stick training for tonight. All we focused on is that she does angle 5. I block, she does angle 6. I block, she does angle 7. I block. Show us if you can do that. Again, if you want to just do block, block, block at home, just showing us that little bit of form work, that would be really awesome. If you want to start going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that would be really cool too. Show us what you got. We'd love to share it with the rest of the world if you're comfortable with that. Moving on, we're done with sticks. Let's go into our CQC.
With almost sticks.
Those ones go there.
We know the arrangement.
Tonight's CQC is going to be Baton, Disarms, and Defenses. So this could be a stick, this could be a baton. We figured it'd be fun to kind of piggyback off of the cool little video that we just released. If you haven't seen it yet, check out our YouTube page. It's also on Facebook and Instagram. We wanted to do a short little promo for these awesome trainer weapons that we got through S&R Tactical.
S&R Tactical.
S&R Tactical. We got these recently delivered to our doorstep, and we've been playing with them since. And they're pretty freaking cool. And if you've seen the video, you can see that they work really great on film as well. I did spray paint this one black. Sorry, S&R, I didn't ask permission first. I'm asking for forgiveness now. But I wanted to use the blue one in the video because I wanted to show their product. This is probably what I would end up using if I ended up using it on film. However, I would be very, 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 very careful about taking this out in public and using it in a fight scene, whether that was just for a pickup test fight or something like that. I'd probably either talk to the local police first. Of course, right now we're not going to go out and do fight scenes, but
Unless it's the roof.
unless it's the roof, I would try and make it very clear, hey officer, this is not a real baton, this is a plastic trainer, please touch it and let me know that you think it's okay for us to do this thing, because in reality, these can be considered illegal to carry. You need to usually be licensed to carry an actual extend baton because they're made out of steel or something similar, and they will break people. All that being said, we're going to show some cool moves that are just quick strip disarms, or I don't know if they're strips, but they're disarms, snake disarms, whatever.
Strip it, man. Kind of.
Again, Dr. Guru Brian Stoops is the man when it comes to the disarms. If you really want to learn a whole vocabulary, a whole alphabet of disarms, go to him, or hopefully we'll get to host him for a workshop soon. I'm going to use this one because it's going to show up a little bit better, I think, on the camera than this one.
Also, Saga colors.
Saga colors, blue and silver-ish. I'm going to attack Abra now. I'm just going to start with my normal angle 1, and Abra's going to do the defense that she knows how to do. I fire my angle 1 strike, she crashes, and she hits at the same time, so this burst should look familiar if you've done our knife training. She's going to wrap it up, bring it...
Yeah, it got caught.
It got caught, and then she's going to take it out.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. It's a bit fast.
Oh, let's go to the other side. We will break down this technique so that you can work it at home without a partner. Just watch us do it a few times to capture that energy. I fire my angle 1, she hits and wraps, brings it in, and then she's twisting her body, and then she's going to slap it out with a hip turn. There you go. She's using full hip rotation, and now she can grab it, she's loaded, and she can take me out with a counter. Yep, we're just going to keep doing it on your side for the moment, and then we'll go into mine in a minute. So whether or not she's just immediately blocking and countering this one, or, let go for a second, or I throw like an angle 5, she pikes out of the way, pikes out of the way, gets some distance, I throw that angle 1, she blocks and she counters, she wraps it up, she twists her body, she releases, she throws her own counter. Now let's talk about breaking this down with your own moves. I'm just going to kind of like shadow outside a little bit, and we're going to really ask for you to pay attention to what her hands and hips are doing. So when I throw that angle 1, she reaches up with that same 360 block. It's that same framed wedge sort of shape. She's trying to get inside my wrist. She doesn't necessarily want to block the weapon.
That would not be fun.
This could break her arm. Super duper easy. And if it didn't break her arm, it's going to make it way harder for her to do the wrap.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, she could wrap the stick like that, but at that point, I could just let go and just attack her. But if she gets inside my wrist by closing distance, which she really wants to do because she's shorter than me, and by her closing distance, she's going to be able to take me apart from the inside of my longer reach. This could be a face strike with a palm strike with the face, it could be a punch, it could be a bougie to the eyes, whatever works for you. She wraps it. Now she just does a big wax on, wax off sort of motion and brings it into her chest. What you'll notice is that as she does that, she turns her hips perpendicularly to me to create that extension of my arm. You can even go a little bit further now, just to show that she's getting that extension. If you want to go into performance land, this is going to look really good. Now she's locked and loaded, almost like she's loading a bomb cross. She's locked and loaded, ready to turn her hips the other way and eject my hand. So it's got this huge dynamic thing, and that, again, that's going to load her up for this counter strike where she can just uncoil, and boom, I'm done. So depending on how you stack the hit, this could look really great.
Yeah.
Or, if we wanted to, she could coil up, and she could fire that hit, and I could just cover ow, and then act out getting hit, which we did in the Baton video. There were a couple of contact hits, which, because these are safe enough, if you trust your partner and you work through it, you can make contact and just kind of bounce off. All contact hits must bounce, as David Darsh likes to say. Is this dangerous? Yes.
It's a whipping motion. It feels unpleasant.
But you can make it safe if you put your body behind it and bounce off. You don't even have to make contact, but you're a little bit safer with the training tool. In film, a lot of times they're going to provide you with foam, rubber, plastic weapons of some sort that are going to have to make contact because sometimes there's just no way to avoid it if you want to get the shot. So when Abra did that angle 1 strike into my collarbone, she was hitting a little bit into my trap and bouncing right off. She was giving a little bit of flex to her elbow and dropping that shot with her body weight so that I could drop with it and then I could go and react to it. It's just the same as just a surface body slap. But you have to practice. We had to rehearse that hit a lot of times before we did it. Am I advocating contact hits at all times? No.
Yes. No. Okay.
But I am saying that there are ways to make things work. You just have to be smart and safe about it. Think like a stunt performer. Don't just know how to be one. Think like one. So I throw my angle 1. She blocks and bursts. She wraps. She ties me up. Boom. She ejects it. Boom, she gets her counter. Again, this can work for CQC situations as well. We're talking self-defense land and everything like that. She's got to get into distance. She might not be able to run from me for forever. She wants to take that thing away from me and use it to neutralize me and act out that cool little fight scene that we did all Wonder Woman style.
And you actually don't want to be, you want to crash because this is more dangerous where the tip is than
Absolutely, absolutely. We even did that in the choreography where you hit me kind of with the butt of the weapon rather than the tip. And that, what we talked about is that if choreographically, if she hit me with the tip, my jaw probably would have flown off in the reality of the physics of the thing, and the fight would have been over. So we had her do this kind of like hand punch to hit me so that the fight could continue for a couple more beats. So now I'm going to give it to Abra. She's going to swing at me, and I'm going to do something different. I could do the same hand wrap for sure. Totally works. But what I thought would be kind of cool for me would be to go back into my Kizzy fighting method background and talk about building up a little bit of that resilience, that last minute, I'm caught off guard sort of surprise, protection from the technique. She throws that strike. I go into my cover. Yes, this sucks, but it's better than getting hit on the head. I'm dropping my weight down into it, so I'm absorbing it a bit. And I've crashed my body directly into her. If I go any further, I could technically throw my elbow into it. So if she was to throw that, boom, I'm crashing in. Maybe I get that. Maybe I get my hammer. Either way, now I've got my hand up here on top of my head. I just take this hinge of the elbow, open it up, wrap it around and through, and then I bring it right back to my head. I've essentially done the exact same sort of...
I'm extended.
Hold it a little bit, just for a sec. I've done the exact same thing that she's more or less done, only I'm taking it to the other side of her body. And then if I want to, I can either do a hammer strike down. It's going to be a little bit harder to pop it across, or I can use my elbow to make that next piece of contact and break that grip. So Abra fires that angle 1. I cover and crash. I either do something here, or I just cover with my elbow, because if I have my other elbow in front of my head and she throws her own counter cross, I can get that destruction like we were talking about in the last video. And then I take this one, I keep this one up, I bring this up and around, and I either hit her with that elbow, or I crash down, or I crash up. Either way, I'm going to hit something. One more time. She strikes, I crash, I unwrap and wrap back again. I just grab myself on my head. That's a really great, there's some weird physical phenomenon where that actually makes your structure stronger. And then I just turn outside and disarm her. Now I've got the weapon myself. Boom, 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 whatever I need to do. Let's make one last point about all this. Abra throws, I'm going to do it. I throw my angle 1. Abra blocks. She does her hit. She wraps it up, and she hits me to disarm me. I don't get disarmed.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What does she do? Does she just stop? No, she keeps doing something. Now get that strip. Until I let go. So if you're in one of those situations where somebody has a weapon, she strikes at me, you block, you start getting that strip, it's not working, do something. Get something until you can get that strip. That's real self-defense. That's exactly kind of the mentality that was coming in when I was doing Sudden Violence with Kelly McCann. You get something, you don't let it go. You keep I've got their arm. I can keep hitting them. They can't. They got one less tool to defend themselves with. I just start taking apart whatever I need to until I can get that strip, or until they just drop it or they give up. I do the same thing to Abra. Boom, she hits me. She wraps me up. She's keeping herself safe. She's going to Krovland, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get out of there. Krovland, right? Krovland. It's the land of Krov. All right, so those are the two techniques that we're going to do for the CQC tonight, and that's going to wrap up all of our curriculum for this episode. We made sure to keep things just a little bit simpler.
In theory.
In theory, I think 1 or 2 techniques per section, per episode is probably the best way to go from here on out. We don't want to overwhelm the audience and give them too many things, and we promise we're not trying to sandbag you either. We just want to make sure that we get these videos done on a timely manner so that Brett doesn't pick up the light that's behind him and beat both of us to death with it. Or the tripod. Or he's right next to a weight rack. Or...
Yeah. I mean, light's not all that
yeah, because there's no exit where he's at, so he's just going to go right through us, and he's way scary. We like to say that Brett has the insta-gib. He'll just punch us into death with Berserk mode. All right, well, that's it for tonight's episode.
Yeah.
We'll double check on the computer, see if anybody has any comments or questions or criticisms or concerns, and we'll do that, and then we'll say goodnight. So why don't we bring the computer over, lower the volume down a bit. I'm going to take that stick.
Are you?
You don't...
You're going to have to take it from me.
Okay, attack me. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Okay.
Ah! 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 And just keep doing something until you go way past self-defense land and go into I'm going to jail land.
Know your laws.
Neither Abra nor Dylan are trained law professionals. Please do not follow their advice in any situations regarding actual self-defense, because if you do, you'll probably get arrested.
I know things.
That's right, you know things. I just know movie land. Abra knows Krovland.
I mean, I just know Krovland. I know
From
other
the land of Israel.
Anyway, how's everybody doing?
Who's in the group tonight? Who wants to chat with us? We've got 3 eyes of Sauron. Oh boy.
4 eyes.
We got 4 eyes of Sauron.
People lost interest.
Oh, people.
I mean, it fluctuated around like 5, 6.
Well, you know what? It's 7 o'clock on a Thursday. I'm sure people are busy watching Friends or something.
Ryan, Poe just jumped in.
Hey, Ryan,
Hey,
you're
Ryan,
late.
you're late.
But that's okay.
Brian said thanks for the shout out.
So it's Saul.
Of course, we're going to shout you out all the time, dude.
Brian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, Brian Stoops.
Brian Stoops with
Churron
his,
Brian Stoops.
his martial arts classes.
Seafood Brian Stoops.
Dr. Brian Stoops.
Guru Brian Stoops. I don't think he's a Shihan, though.
No.
Okay. Dr. Brian Stoops.
He's a crew.
He's a good guy. Is he a crew? Yeah, I guess.
I think so.
Brian, are you a crew?
Brian, are you a crew?
Anyways,
I don't even know if he's still watching.
we're glad to have everybody here.
Yeah.
It is, what time is it? 7:57. So we are going to wrap up in 3 minutes and make sure that this episode is no longer than 1 hour. Unless somebody asks a really complicated question and all of a sudden we have to give a really detailed answer, which would drive Brett completely insane. But,
You don't want to do this, Brett.
well, you might want to try. If you want to see us get hurt, you
For
will
real?
ask questions.
For reals?
For realsies. Neither one of us holds a candle to his German anger. Is that him bubbling, or is that like a plummet?
I mean, I feel like it can't be him bubbling.
All right, well, we haven't gotten any questions yet tonight, so if you do have any, please just be sure to send us a message. Please be sure to leave a comment. We will get back to it. But for now, we're going to start a little wrap-up spiel. As Fusion, huh? As we always like to say, we really just care about building this community up. What that means is that if you really want to help us, go on our Facebook page, invite your friends, click those invite buttons for your friends who are martial artists, performing artists, people that just love action movies, people that want to do something different and have a way of expressing themselves and get into whatever their ideal heroic shape for themselves is.
Geeky people.
We are geeky people, nerdy people. We used to teach at conventions all the time, back when there were conventions.
Remember those days?
Although apparently Comic-Con's still happening.
As far as we know.
I don't know why. I mean, it's just a room with a trailer and like 6,000 people going like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome! And then we're told how awesome it's gonna be, and then it's...
And then it's Corona Part 2. Anyway,
Or Suicide Squad. Regardless of that, might as well be the same thing. we just want to have more friends to play with. We're constantly adding more and more content to the YouTube channel. We've probably got like nearly 40 hours of content on the YouTube channel at this point between our 3 shows. We really love sharing this material with you. Just help us get the word out there because we're just trying to share this with as many people as possible. If you need to find us, we are on the Instagrams, we are on the YouTubes, and we are on the Twitter.
And the Facebooks.
And the Facebooks. You must be on the Facebooks if you're watching this, unless you're watching it later on the YouTubes. But the point is that we're around. We have an email address. We have lots of different things. But just reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns. Tomorrow we are going to have morning routine at 9 a.m. and we are going to have Abra's hero conditioning.
What?
At 1 p.m. So please be sure to join us for both of those shows if you like. And we will be back on Tuesday night with another episode of our skill development session for you to join in on so that you can learn even more of our crazy fun curriculum. And hopefully, when all this blows over, put some cool fights of your own together. Until then, that's me and Abra. We're going to sign out. Thank you, Producer Brett, for putting up with this nonsense. And we will see you.
Those times tomorrow are Eastern time.
Those times tomorrow are Eastern time. We will see you at 9 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern, and then later next week at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much. This has been our skill development session number 8, and we will see you on the next one.
Stay classy, San Francisco.
Why do you even...